about my proposal, the title of An Analysis of Teacher Strategies in Teaching English Vocabulary for 7th grade students of Junior High School and Kartasura in academic year 2019 and 2020.
Chapter 1 Introduction. Layer Background of Study, Problem Statement, Objective of Study, Benefit of Study, Limitation of Study, and Definition of key term.
The first, background of study. Vocabulary is more than a list of words. Astonbury 2005 states that without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. No matter we can say very little with grammar, but we can say anything by word. From the statement it can be known that vocabulary is essential. If people spend much of our time studying grammar, their language will not improve very much. But if they learn word and expression, their improvement is more significant. People can say anything for what they want by using word. Vocabulary is a kind of instrument to expressing their feeling or thoughts. Vocabulary can assist someone to understand thoughts and ideas of others clearly and effectively. Besides, vocabulary has also an important role in learning a language such as English, because it appears in every language skills. Commonly, the four basic skills of language, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, can be acquired while supported by a good acquisition in vocabulary. Vocabulary is the more important thing in studying English. We need to master it well. Several work in teaching vocabulary strategies has been tested by Kasa Orisa Nuradi 2012, who found that use random feature strategies in teaching English vocabulary, making the transition to independent learning can be easier and more efficient. His research is conducted to find out the strategy of teaching English vocabulary in Junior High School 1 Kartasura. By knowing the strategies, the teacher may achieve the intent of teaching learning process at the 7th grade of Junior High School 1 Kartasura. Problem statement. In this proposal, there are two problem statements. First, what strategies are used by the English teacher in teaching vocabulary at the 7th grade student of Junior High School 1 Kartasura in academic year 2019 or 2020? Second, what are the responses of students toward the implementation of teacher strategies in teaching vocabulary? The third, objective of study. There are two objectives of study. First, to find the strategies are used by the English teacher in teaching vocabulary at the 7th grade student of Junior High School 1 Kartasura in academic year 2019 or 2020. Second, to find responses of students toward the implementation of teacher strategies in teaching vocabulary at the 7th grade students of Junior High School 1 Kartasura. The fourth, benefit of study. There are two benefits of study. The first, practical benefit, and the second, theoretical benefit. The fifth, limitation of study. The scope of study are limited to the subject and object investigated. For the subject of the research is English teacher, and the object of the research is the 7th grade student of Junior High School 1 Kartasura in academic year 2019 or 2020. Next, definition of key term. There are three key terms in this capture. First, strategies. 2. Teaching. 3. Vocabulary. Chapter 2. Theoretical review. First, the concept of vocabulary. Vocabulary is acquired accidentally through indirect exposure toward and intentionally through explicit instruction in specific word and word learning strategies. Second, types of English vocabulary. When we see the real use of English language and other language, it seems that vocabulary is the list of words which have meanings, form, and orientation our mind, consequence of involving the two kinds of division. The reality seems to be focused by Allen and Carter, 1988, and divides the vocabulary into major types. First, general vocabulary that is used in all subjects. The third, kinds of vocabulary. There are many different kinds of vocabulary items or words. This is especially true when non-active learners target language as linguistic outsider. One simple way to take at vocabulary for second learners is single word, set phrase, variable phrase, phrase verb, and idiom. Fourth, the importance of teaching vocabulary. The importance of vocabulary has made the applied to solve this problem, making it efficient. 5. Problem in teaching English vocabulary. Because in the Department of Language Literature, March 2000 state that there is problem of method in teaching vocabulary that the teacher must turn classroom into a positive and fun learning experience. And the last, strategies in teaching vocabulary. According to Lado, 1994, there are many kinds of strategies that can be applied in teaching vocabulary. These strategies are: first, self-defining context; second, definition; third, identifying picture; fourth, opposite; fifth, synonyms. Chapter 3. The last chapter, research methodology. There are research design, research setting, subject of study, technique of collecting data, trustworthiness of data, and technique of analyzing data. The first is research design. In introduction, it was mentioned that the purpose of this research is to investigate the strategies in teaching English vocabulary and to find out the students' perception of the teacher's strategies in teaching English vocabulary at the 7th grade of Junior High School 1 Kartasura in academic year 2019 or 2020. The second is research setting. The research conducted this study in Junior High School 1 Kartasura on May 23, 2019 at 7th grade, and there are 30 students. And the third is subject of study. The subject of this study are the teacher of English at 7th grade of Junior High School 1 Kartasura. The next is technique of collecting data. In technique collecting data, the The proposal used first observation and the second interview. The next, trustworthiness of data. To get the validity of the data, layer 4 technique, data triangulation, investigator triangulation, methodological triangulation, and theoretical triangulation. In this research, to get the validity of the data, the research uses method triangulation. According to Sutopo 2002, triangulation is a validity technique of research by using something outside the data as a measurement of the data. The steps of triangulation are getting document, content analysis, and finally getting the data. And the last technique of analyzing data. In this research, the research used growth theory by Gasser and Strauss in the 1960s. The data that had been collected by the instrument are analyzed together to get the result that describe the problem faced by the student and teacher in teaching learning vocabulary. The data from interview are analyzed in some steps. First, making data transcript. Second, giving the code. Third, making writing data duplicate. Fourth, collecting some code data and submit in one data. And the last, the data are interpreting to find out whether the teacher actually strategies in teaching.
Not for today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.